Hey guys, what's up? No, I'm coming at you a little bit later this week. Honestly, I have been absolutely racking my brain trying to figure out what I'm going to do this video, try to make it something a little bit more exciting, get past all the boring stuff we've hit already. But with limited resources, limited time here right now, decided we're going to keep it nice and simple, do a little bit of a story time and see how you guys like that. Real quick, a little bit of housekeeping. First off, massive shout out to my amazing girlfriend, Kia. She put the new profile picture that we've got going together. The girl's 10,000 times more autistic than I could ever hope to be. Huge appreciation to her. Also huge appreciation to you guys. I can't even begin to express how I'm feeling. I'm so proud of what's happening so far, and I can't wait to see where we're going to go. We are working on getting that stream up and running as well. We've got a little bit of testing done already. Camera's working, everything's going well. Just finalizing getting a headset together, and then we should be good to go there. So expect to see more of that soon. If you guys want, I do have the Twitch up and running, so I will drop the link down below if you guys want to go give that a follow so that you're ready as soon as I start posting. And then just remember to go give the Instagram a follow as well. I will drop that link again, just so you guys can stay up to date when I'm dropping a video here, when I'm going to be streaming, and just anything else we might have coming our way. It's also one of the best places you guys can reach out and talk to me. Tell me if there's anything in specific you're wanting to see, or anything you're not wanting to see, maybe. But yeah, so we'll get into it. Figured for our first video like this, we're going to kick it a little bit farther back. We're going to go back to, oh man, maybe 2014. So any of you guys that know me closely know that while I'm definitely not the one to do the stupidest things of all time, my ideas are also not necessarily the best. So several years back, me and a buddy, I don't think he'll mind if I say his name, so me and my buddy Jacob were hanging out, and I think I had just gotten a couple of new airsoft guns or something, so we were out, dinking around with those, testing them out, being dumb teenage guys, and we're out about a quarter of a mile down the road from my house. There used to be a massive, big old gravel pile from when they put together a lot of this area, and it wasn't really open to anybody, but they never well, they did eventually, but they hadn't blocked it off or anything. And so most people kind of were just using it as a dump and as a shooting range and pretty much everything else that you can imagine. I mean, it's Idaho, so they kind of do whatever they want. But so we were out there just kind of screwing around with them, and after about 20 minutes, got pretty bored of that. Only two people doesn't make for much of an airsoft war. So we're looking around trying to figure out what we can do. And I look off to the side, and there's an old, I think it was an old, cabinet or cupboard door or something just laying on the ground. Which, there again, people were using it as a dump, so not surprising. But I'm looking at it, and it just caught my eye for some reason. And then I look up at the hill itself. Now, mind you, this gravel pile, I'm sure you guys have seen similar ones before, but the front side of it was, unbelievably steep. And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, I wonder if we could ride this door down that pile. So I start talking to him about it, and believe it or not, he was on board right off the bat. So we start climbing up this gravel pile, and because we're stupid, young teenage boys, instead of going around to the backside where it's, super level, super easy to get up, we're climbing straight up the face of this thing. So it takes 20 minutes to get to the top. We get up there, and there's no way he's going first because it's my idea, and it's kind of a stupid idea. So I'm like, all right. I hop on and start sliding down. Now, I've never really done anything like that before or since, so I wasn't really sure what to expect, but immediately just massive speed flying down. And it's not a very big cabinet door, it's tiny. And even at the time, I didn't fully fit on it. So my feet are dragging off to the side in front of it, kicking gravel up into my face, and honestly, probably helped slow it down. But so I get down to the bottom, and heart's racing. I'm like, holy crap. I survived that. So I'm like, okay, awesome. And then I realized that in order for him to go, I'm going to have to climb all the way back up, give him the board, and he's going to have to go down. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I walk all the way back up there, another 20, 30 minutes, get it to him, he goes down, and by the time he hits the bottom, we're both stoked, it worked, we're both alive, but at this point, we're pretty tired, because we both hiked up the hill a couple of times. We're like, okay, maybe we'll come back and, do this when we have a little bit more time someday, 'cause it's getting a little later in the evening. And he's like, all right, let's go. And then I realized, I'm like, he's at the bottom of the board. I'm up top without the board. And at this point, like I said, for some reason, has not crossed my mind that I can go down the back of the freaking mountain. And so I'm sitting there looking down this steep slope of loose gravel. And I'm like, what the hell am I going to do here? Because if I have him hike all the way back up here to get it to me, then he'll be stuck up top. And it's too tall for him to just throw it up to me. So I'm like, okay, guess I'm walking down the front of this thing. There again, I'm stupid. Keep that in mind. So we start walking down, and at this point, I'm like crouched as low to the ground as I possibly can, you know, butt touching my heels. And I'm just slowly taking tiny steps going down. And have a few slip-ups here and there the first, 10, 20 feet. But overall, it's going pretty well. I'm like, okay, we can do this. It'll take a little bit of time, but I'll be fine. Now, as I get a little bit farther down, confidence starts to grow. I'm like, okay, this is going well. I slowly start standing up more and more. Get about halfway down, and at this point, I'm standing completely upright. And I'm sure most of you guys know, but when you start going down a hill, standing upright, your speed kind of naturally increases if it's very steep at all. So by the time I hit this point, my speed's picking up. I can't really control it. And I get about, I don't know, probably 3/4 of the way down. And I'm going full tilt at this point, which, for 14-year-old me is not super fast, but it's more than fast enough going down a gravel hill. And so we're going, I'm just hauling balls down to the bottom of this hill, starting to freak out a little bit because I know I'm going way too fast, but I can't really stop it. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go, run out at the end, we'll all be fine. I get about 2 feet from the bottom, and I realize that right at the bottom of the mountain, mountain, I'm using it loosely, but right at the bottom of the mountain, there's a little ditch that I don't know if it was put there originally intentionally, but there's about a 3-foot drop from where the base of the mountain is to where flat ground is. And if you guys have ever, stepped into a pothole when you're not expecting it, that jarring feeling you get? Yeah, well, imagine that full speed coming down a gravel pile and onto, super rocky terrain. So I'm coming down off it. 1 foot goes into that. I pitch forward immediately and roll probably, 5, 6, 7 times, just absolutely skidding across the gravel out in front of this pile. And eventually I come to a stop. And I'm laying there, I'm like, son of a gun. That hurt a little bit. And I start looking, I'm like, okay, I'm alive, nothing's broken. And so I start looking at myself a little bit more, and my hands are just absolutely torn to hell, just bleeding everywhere. My arms are torn up, my face is a little torn up, my legs. And then my buddy points out that he even tore up my back and stuff a little bit through my shirt, so I'm getting blood coming through my shirt. And I get up, and I'm like, oh man, my parents are gonna kill me. They didn't even know that we were out there to begin with, let alone doing this. So we get up, start making our way back. I find my phone laying on the ground. And lo and behold, right as we get back to my house, 1/4-mile walk, mind you, bleeding all down me, my mom comes outside, just starting to look for where we had went. Super fun time. Anyway, hopefully this is something that you guys enjoy. I know it's, not the most entertaining story of all time, but this is what we got to work with right now. If you guys haven't already, please drop a follow or a subscribe, a like, even a comment if you feel up to it down below. It means the world to me. Definitely go check out the Twitch and the Instagram. And if you guys did like this, please let me know. I'm more than willing to do stuff like this in the future. And if you didn't, there again, let me know so that I know. Anyway, that's all I really have for you. It's been Reckless, and have a good night.